Today I would like to give you the good news that we will finally tell you about a project that we wanted to tell you for a long time, but which never came across. It is such an infrastructure that cheap, fast, highly confidential and focused on the least amount of energy. What kind of technical infrastructure does it offer? What's the benefit for us? Let's examine together. Greetings to everyone from Kripto Office. I'm Iryna. Now, immediately I am going to details. To briefly summarize Aleph Zero, it is a non-profit foundation founded in Switzerland. It is an infrastructure developed for Web 3.0 that allows corporate companies to take advantage of a peer-reviewed platform for their public or private transactions. The biggest feature of this ecosystem is that it is synchronized with other blockchains and can execute smart contracts simultaneously with them. Working on an universal wallet that can be used on all major chains also provides many advantages to its users. In fact, Aleph Zero gets its power from a DAG Based protocol. What does it mean for the protocol to be DAG based? In a DAG based cryptocurrency, each node in the structure represents a transaction. There is no concert of blocks here, or mining is not necessary to grow the database, because some kind of proof of staking methods is used. That is, instead of putting transactions together in blocks, each transaction is built on top of the other. However, a very small proof of work process also needs to be completed when the node sends a transaction. This POW process is done to ensure the network is not spammed and validates previous transactions. Up to 100,000 TPS transactions in 1 to 2-second block confirmation time offer free transactions, but company officials state that in the future they will be able to reduce this part to 0.7 seconds and reduce the fee to lower amounts. It seems that we will see DAG infrastructures more and more in the future, and we will even witness their development personally. So, what about the conveniences that Aleph Zero has added to our lives? Let's explain immediately. You can use Aleph Zero's decentralized file storage, that is cloud storage. You can set up your own smart contracts here and send them to the network. In addition, the Aleph Zero platform also has a decentralized exchange, DEX, and all transactions related to AZERO coin can be made from here. Aleph Zero's advanced security layer can be used on any network breached to this platform. In other words, the security layer of the transaction you do here is designed to be valid on all networks. As a matter of fact, even this security layer can be considered a separate revolution, because we will look at who created the encryption technology, which I will talk about shortly in Aleph Zero. Another thing you can benefit from the platform is that it allows fast, highly scalable, decentralized, secure and low-cost data transfer for transactions of any size for the IoT. In blockchain technology, since each data entry and exit is based on a fee, IoT setups either resulted in a very high cost or the projects ended before they started. Here, Aleph Zero has brought a solution to this. In parentheses, we know that cypherpunk groups have been working on IoT technology, which we call the Internet of Things, and the accompanying encryption technologies since the 1970s, and that today's technology was again laid by cypherpunks. So, out there, Web 3.0 problems that Aleph Zero has resolved to the end, it's not over. On this platform, separate services are also offered for supply chains in the line with hub-and-spoke distribution paradigm. All stages of production, distributions and logistics can be added to this network. A record can be created, historically tracking can be provided, and a complete story of the product can be created with data metrics. In fact, we can say that this can make the supply chain management used today much easier in Web 3.0, since the Aleph Zero network allows for exchange, swaps, and asset registrations. It can also be used simply in many areas such as trading, stock and bond exchange, game swap, as well as many land registry transactions. In the future, when we fully transition to Web 3.0, the internet will be our own computer. That's when this platform will offer web browsers, a decentralized, built-in domain name system. This will increase the privacy and processing speed, so it is worth remembering that most of the Web 3.0 discussions are due to low speed. We got tired even describing the problem that Aleph Zero overcame, but how many years do you think the construction phase of the project took? After 5 full years of math professors and cryptographers working on this project, Aleph Zero launched the first version of its mainnet on November 10, 2021, from the end of 2017 to this date. It also took the Web 3.0 foundation behind it and connected a full $15 million investment. He also joined the Substrate Builder program and expanded his team to more than 30 people. Let's put it this way. Backing the Web 3.0 foundation means we can say hello to our new internet infrastructure. It may not be called Aleph Zero, but it would not be a mistake to say that this infrastructure will most likely evolve into Web 3.0 by developing it. In other words, Aleph Zero may be our new internet. When we came to the technical details of the project, one of the points that caught our attention was that Trial of Bits did the audit. This company is world-known cybersecurity and research company that has conducted security audits of dozens of blockchains to date. When we look at the roadmap section, we see that the first 2 phases have been completed. These are goal and consensus benchmarks and scalability protocols. The third phase is currently working on more consensus and scalability. When we look at the next phase, a private web wallet and a web browser welcome us. I said we might have a new internet now, and it seems to be coming slowly. There is no need to extend the partnerships part too much. I think this screen is big enough for all us to see it, because there are many crypto and cybersecurity companies, Switzerland, Poland blockchain foundations, and dozens of capital companies. When we come to the team, it seems like the scientists who invented the computer and mathematics science wink at us. CEO and founder Dr. Matthew Niemark is a scientist who for years had escorted mathematics and computer science at Colorado State University. A few years later, he became famous at IBM, developing the fastest running algorithm on the world's largest computer. Then he established Aleph Zero after cardinal cryptography, which he founded in the field of encryption technology. So there is no harm in calling it a mastery project. Already Aleph Zero used cardinal cryptography's team and technology. He also showed this among partnerships. Let's come to the second key name, Antonio Zolciak, partner of the project and CMO responsible for marketing. After extensive marketing and business education, including Harvard Business School, he worked with Robert Greene for a while at CodeWise and then co-founded Cardinal Cryptography with Dr. Niemark. Just to mention, CodeWise is Europe's fastest growing marketing agency and was founded by Tencent founder Robert Greene. Later, when Dr. Matthew Niemark established Aleph Zero, he is included among the partners of the project and takes the position of CMO. It is worth saying that Antonio Zolciak is the most authoritative name in this project after the CEO. After sharing the details about what AZERO is, let's come to the part about what it could be and share our own thoughts. If we had been talking about AZERO last month, frankly, we would not have been talking much more bravely, because the supply of AZERO is unlimited, just like Terra Luna. Don't get this analogy wrong. Not just Luna and AZERO, but many blockchains with unlimited supply have some exceptions. For this reason, we cannot say that such a danger may occur in the future. Unfortunately, it will never occur. In other words, the answer to the question of whether he can print coins continuously in AZERO as a technical infrastructure is yes, he can. This means potential concern for investors. Maybe something like this will never happen, but unfortunately, the whole market has been negatively affected by it. And so, no matter how good the project and team are, it gets confusing for the investor. Therefore, it is useful to consider this when making an investment decision. Apart from this exceptional situation so far, AZERO may be a much talked about project in the upcoming periods. When we look at it through its own blockchain browser, 75 million of the 300 million unit supply is in circulation. Close to 200 million are staked and the rest are locked. I think the locks of those who buy from the pre-sale will go into circulation supply over time. The price is $1. The price is not cheap compared to the crypto money that was released 5 months ago and only 3 exchanges. In summary, while the visionary part of AZERO attracts us, market conditions leave us undecided. This doesn't mean that we are necessarily investors to follow the project. I think it is one of the conditions of being in this market to follow the developments of AZERO in these upcoming processes. In the next 10 years, while the whole world is providing technology through blockchain and its alternatives, AZERO's position may be very important when trade starts to revolve with cryptocurrencies. In this case, I can say that it is exciting to get to know AZERO from its first months. I left the links that will make it easier for you to review, and if you want to buy, I left the GATEIO and MEXC stock market links in the description sections. See you in the next video. Stay cool!